Steph Castelein and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I help new bloggers start and grow their blogs. I share blogging tips and tricks from my own journey to help you on yours. Today I'm going to be sharing 3 writing tips that I talk about time and time again. I've talked about them on the channel before, but they're that important that I want to talk about them again today. As a blogger and someone who writes a lot of content, I'm always looking for ways to get better at writing. Of course, there's outlines that you can create and having a plan always helps, but when I'm sitting in front of a blank page and that cursor is just blinking back at me and writer's block has set in, these 3 things continue to propel me forward, continue to keep me consistent, and honestly have made me a better writer. So we're gonna dive in real quick. They're gonna be short and sweet and I'm gonna share them with you. The first thing is to create before you consume. I say this one all the time because it was probably the biggest change for me, as well as number 2, I guess, which I'm gonna tell you about in just a second. But making sure that I create, that I write something, that I have my own thoughts before hopping online and checking Instagram and checking Facebook and just getting into that mindless scroll of what everyone else is doing. It literally sucks the energy out of me, and it's not the people that I'm following, it's just the expectations that I have for myself. And I see even 20 other people who have created all of this content, all of these new ideas, written all of these Instagram posts. Like, I started thinking of all the things that I could be doing, all of the things that I should be doing, and I don't focus on just writing my blog posts, my content, and creating value for my readers. It's so easy to fall into a comparison game and feel like you're never doing enough, and that just, from my experience, kills creativity. Instead of sitting down to write with a clear mind and in your own voice with your own ideas, you suddenly have the influence of all of these other people, and following other people and looking at them for direction is good. It can be a positive thing, but it can also be a hindrance. So just keep this in mind. Create before you consume. We only have so much energy to give. Make sure that your energy is spent on creating rather than spent on consuming. The second thing that has helped me become a better writer is to write every day. And I'm gonna be honest here, guys, I don't write every day. I try to write every weekday. This idea has continued to evolve for me. So it kind of stemmed from the idea that if you want to write more, you have to write more, which makes sense. Like anything in life, if you want to get better at it, you have to do it. You have to learn from it, you have to try it, you have to do it every day. So write every day. But I kept finding myself running into these barriers, staring at that blank page with the blinking cursor being like, what do I write about? Because I had the blog, but when I was writing a blog post, I had a plan. You know, like I wrote the blog post and then maybe the next day edited it. But writing every day for me was about being creative and coming up with something new. So like, how was I being creative? Was I journaling? Was I like writing a long form novel? Was I doing something for the blog every day? Like, what did this look like? So I took a break. I took a few months off of writing because I was kind of like, okay, I want to be writing every day, but I don't know what to write about. So I just quit writing altogether. But then this month, guys, I got back to writing. I was like, okay, if I want to be a better writer and I want to write more, guess what? I have to write more. And I was reading this book called Atomic Habits, and it said that if you want to create a habit, one of the things that you can do is to start simply, but to also stop before it gets painful. And this really registered with me. So now what it looks like is a page saved to my computer that literally says daily writing. I have the date and what day it is, so like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, plus the time. I kind of like to know what time I'm sitting down to write. That's all in bold, and then underneath that I have any sort of writing that I want to do. The writing is a little bit of everything. It's definitely journal style. I talk to it. I write basically like I'm talking. You know, some days it's short and sweet and it's like, hey, I'm showing up, I'm writing, I'm not sure what's going on, here's what's going on in life, done. And other days I'm like, you know, I had this thought, and it goes into this like page long, trickle down, beautifully written, thought out paragraph that just lives in this daily document. I am shocked by how much of a difference this has made. By writing first thing in the morning before I do anything else, before I consume, by writing up until it gets painful, like my days have been more creative, my days have been more inspired, and I have put more content out for my readers into the world. So maybe your writing every day looks like mine, which is every weekday. Maybe it looks like, you know, 7 days a week. Maybe it looks like 2 days a week. I just let it flow. But again, that has continued to evolve. So for you, find out whatever works best for you. Find out what inspires you. Find out what keeps you writing. Like, that's the goal here, my friend, is to write. If you want to write more, you have to write more. And to be a good writer, you should be writing every day. So take that for what it is, apply it to your own life, and be inspired with your writing. Stop before it gets painful. The third thing is sharing it with others, and this is definitely the hardest part because it's the most vulnerable. You know, you put yourself out there and you're like, who even cares? Who's gonna respond to this? What if someone says something negative? And those are all very real things, and those things might happen. But you have to keep in mind what might happen if you put it out there and someone's inspired. If someone reads it and they're like, wow, I needed that today. Like, those are the possibilities and the mindset that you have to have. But writing every day has helped me feel inspired to create more content, and with that content, I've been more confident to put it out into the world because I know where this is coming from. Like, I'm inspired by my own writing, I'm inspired to write and to share it with others. So that next step of putting it out into the world is still uncomfortable. Like, trust me, every time I go to post on Instagram or Pinterest or write a blog post, like, I still hesitate. I'm still like, oh gosh, did I do this right? It feels like it could be better. There's so many other people who have done this. So it's still uncomfortable, but I have that confidence to put it out there knowing that it's gonna impact someone, that it could impact someone, because I know the place that it's coming from. And this is one of the biggest hurdles that I hear from new bloggers is, you know, they're scared of what people are gonna think of them. They're worried about what their family and friends are gonna say. And I've just found that by putting my work into the world, I've become a better writer. It's helped me find my writing voice, and it's also helped me understand what people like or don't like. Like, people love lists, people love actionable items, but creating content and putting it out for others to see, even when it doesn't feel perfect or it feels uncomfortable, is literally exercising that uncomfortable muscle, that uncomfortable writing muscle. When you set up goals and expectations for yourself and you're committed to making them work, like, you're going to become a stronger writer. 1 blog post a week, 5 social media posts a week. You know, when you meet those expectations, you're going to become a stronger writer because you're putting out content even when it's uncomfortable. It's all about being uncomfortable here, and it's all about pushing through the uncomfortableness. That's basically writing in a nutshell. No writer sits down and is like, this is easy, I'm so good at this, the thoughts just keep flowing and coming and I know how to translate them onto a piece of paper perfectly. Like, no, even the best poets, even the best writers, I mean, it's all up here and it has to get translated onto a page that makes sense for other people. That process is the same for everyone. So if you're sitting in front of your computer screen struggling, I challenge you to try out these 3 things. Create before you consume, write every day, and put your work out into the world. You will be amazed at how your writing evolves and how you continue to grow. There's no hacks, there's no like blanket writing hacks. I mean, these little tips help and like little nudges, little reminders, and little motivating things to keep you going, but at the end of the day, you have to sit down, you have to get that blank piece of paper out, and you have to write. And it might be uncomfortable, it might be painful, but you can do this. Like, you have to commit to doing it and know that every time you do, you're growing and getting better. And like, that's the goal, my friend. Like, that's the goal of life, right? To grow and get better. I mean, yes, I think it is. Anyway, wanted to share these 3 tips with you. They have made a huge impact, especially lately, for me in my own world, in my own realm of writing and uncomfortableness. And I took a huge break, and now I'm back writing and more creative than I've ever felt, and it's really because of these 3 things. Let me know any other writing tips you would suggest for others down below. What helps you in writing? I would love to know your process, little tips and tricks, little hacks, and just how you make it work for yourself. Everyone's different. I mean, I know this, you know this, but there are some things that are consistent across the board. So let's help each other out. Let me know down below. Be sure to like and subscribe. Be sure to hit that bell so you're notified every time I post a new video. That continues to help me grow, and you guys know I just appreciate it so much. I hope you have a fantastic day, evening, night, wherever you are. I hope it's a good one, and we will see you on the next video. Thanks again so much for being here. I really appreciate it. Talk to you guys later. Bye.